For God, as we continue on this journey of 60 days of faith, family, and finances. I want to call your attention to Matthew chapter 15 today, because there comes a time in every life you have to have enough faith to simply go for it. Say it with me. Go for it. Matthew 15 begins in chapter 22 and says, "A Gentile woman who lived there came to him pleading, 'Have mercy on me, O Lord, son of David, for my daughter is possessed by a demon that torments her severely.' But Jesus gave her no reply, not even a word." Drop down to verse 25. "But she came and worshiped him, pleading again, 'Lord, help me.'" Verse 26 says, Jesus responded, "It isn't right to take food from the children and throw it to the dogs." She replied, "That's true, Lord, but even dogs are allowed to eat the scraps that fall beneath their master's tables." "Dear woman," Jesus said to her, "your faith is great. Your request is granted." And her daughter was healed instantly. There comes a time in every life you have to just lean into God. You have to recognize that God is in control of every situation. And this woman teaches us that you got to know how to surrender your all unto the Lord. She teaches us that when you surrender your all, you'll have enough faith to simply show up. Do you have enough faith to keep showing up? Let's look at the text. She was called a Gentile woman, which simply means she was considered a non-believer. But even a non-believer understands the power you have when you show up to the master. The struggle can be real for non-believers too. But when you stay focused and show up, you'll be amazed at what the Lord will do for you. Let's look at the text. She didn't just show up and stay focused. She went a little bit further. Jesus said to her, nothing. But even though Jesus said nothing to her, that didn't stop her. That didn't keep her from going after what she was there for. She understood, if I'm going to get what I came for, if I'm going to get the healing that my daughter stands in need of, I've got to take this up a notch further. And the Bible says she worshiped him. Family, do you have enough faith to worship God in the midst of your struggles? Because where there is no struggle, there is no strength. And the text says, even though Jesus didn't respond to her, she had enough faith to worship him. This was a cry of desperation because she understood he had what she needed, and she refused to leave being denied. She stayed disciplined because she understood who she was in front of. She was in front of the one that could make all of her dreams come true. Hey family, I need to challenge you today. You better worship God and stop complaining. You better worship God and get out of your pity party. God is available right now. You better start worshiping him. She teaches us that in the midst of your struggle, in the midst of the silence of God, you better learn how to worship him. Where there is no struggle, there is no strength. But she also had the strength to speak up. Let's look at the text again, because she didn't just worship. The text says she pleaded again, "Lord, help me." She takes it to the next level because sometimes you got to elevate the intensity of what you are there for. She cries out to the Lord in desperation because she understood that by faith, her worship could access doors that regular people could never go through. Hey family, she teaches us the value of showing up, of worshiping, but then of how to speak up. So let's look at the lessons we've learned, what we've discovered through this woman's faith. She gives us a tip of how to put our theories into practice. So what was the plan that she executed? I'll tell you what it was. She lets us know that when you show up in faith, God will reward your faith. Her faith was rewarded. Let's look at the text, because here is what the text concludes by saying. Jesus said, "Dear woman, your faith is great." Here's what he was saying. You have lived your faith And because you walk by faith and not by sight, you transferred your faith into the power of your daughter. Your faith had enough power to bring your daughter a healing. It's day 24. Go for it, because your family member's healing is tied directly to your faith. Go for it. Faith, family, and finances.